Welcome, and thank you for joining me. I want to talk to you about the story of Joseph for a moment. It's one of the most important stories in the Bible. Hopefully you know the story. Joseph was sold to the Midianites, sold into slavery by his brothers. He was carried to Egypt and sold to Potiphar, who was captain of the guard. Potiphar's wife falsely accused him of rape, and Joseph was thrown into prison, where he remained for several years until he explained a dream the Pharaoh had. He was then made second in command of Egypt. Through his strong guidance, he was able to prevent the land from starving by saving enough grain to feed them through a multi-year drought. He brought his family from Canaan to Egypt, where the Hebrews lived for 430 years. This was a very quick overview. I left out more than one detail. Here are some of the important parts. If this large family did not come to Egypt and live, it would have perished in a famine. Had the family barely survived, it would have assimilated into the Canaanite tribes surrounding it. Only by coming to Egypt could they be preserved and grow into a distinct nation. You see, the Egyptians were very prejudiced and would never allow the Hebrews to intermarry, thereby preserving the Hebrews into a distinct family. If Joseph's brothers never sold him to the Midianites, then Joseph would have never gone to Egypt. If Joseph never went to Egypt, he never would have been sold to Potiphar. If Joseph was never sold to Potiphar, Potiphar's wife would have never falsely accused him of rape. If Potiphar's wife never falsely accused Joseph of rape, then Joseph would never have been put in prison. Oh, bear with me, this gets much, much better. If Joseph was never put into prison, he would have never met the baker and butler of Pharaoh. If Joseph never met the baker and butler of Pharaoh, he never would have interpreted their dreams, and if he never interpreted their dreams, he never would have interpreted Pharaoh's dream. If Joseph never interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, he never would have interpreted or never would have become the prime minister, second in Egypt only to Pharaoh. If Joseph never became prime minister, he never would have wisely prepared for the terrible famine to come. If Joseph never prepared for the terrible famine, then the family back in Canaan would have died in the famine. If Joseph's family back in Canaan died in the famine, then the Messiah would not have come from a dead family. You see, Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. Judah was the fourth son of Jacob and Leah, the brother of Joseph. If the Messiah did not come forth, then Jesus never came. And if Jesus never came, then we are dead in our sins and without hope in the world. What an important story. Any item taken alone may not appear good to us. However, Romans 8:28 reminds us, and we know that all things work for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. God's plan is perfect. We may not understand what his plan is or how we have a part in it. However, we can rest assured that his plan, devised from before the beginning of time, is without flaw. And though it's hard to see any one of these events being important by itself, the whole plan brings forth Christ the Messiah. Now you can see how important Joseph's story is. Grace and peace to you. Have a blessed day.